Hi, this is Jamiel Cal-Pin VO, your friendly voice of reason. I'm a voiceover artist dedicated to helping others bring unique life to their projects that helps communicate any message. On this channel, I share tips, tricks, and information that I've gained to help others interested in voiceover. Today, I want to talk about my five least favorite things about starting in voiceover, being involved in voiceover. But these are five things that, through my experience so far in doing voiceover, have just irritated me, things that have just bothered me. The first one, mouth noise. So prior to actually sitting down and recording your voice or paying attention to hearing people's voices, I never really noticed mouth noise. Maybe if somebody was sick or if something was just really intense in person, but typically your brain just blocks out all of the stuff that we typically don't hear, that we don't pay attention to. So mouth noises and stuff like that. I don't think anybody really talks like that. But anyways, your brain naturally blocks out certain sounds and things that it's like information you don't need. But the thing is, microphones don't do that. So you'll sit down and record and things like that, and you'll play it back and be like, what is this? What is all of this noise? Ew, this is disgusting. And that's stuff that you have to edit out because nobody else wants to listen to mouth noise either because it's gross. It's just gross. Number 2, ambient noise. So again, a lot of things that you hear that we typically hear, we just tune it out. Like your refrigerator. Unless your refrigerator is really messed up or really loud, typically you're not paying attention to it. Or your HVAC or air conditioning system. You're not listening to that. There was a period of time, my wife and I, we were living in our RV full time, and I was trying to do voiceover, and you could hear everything, especially if we were at an RV park or a truck stop or something like that. You can hear everything, all of the engines. Now I hear so much stuff, like airplanes, birds, dogs, people walking around, and I'm so hyper aware of it now, as a voiceover artist. And it just gets really irritating. You're trying to sit down. You feel like you have the perfect take that you're about to do. You've been practicing, you're practicing, and now you're getting ready to hit record. And then you just hear some strange noise that you don't even know where it comes from sometimes. And that's something that you have to ultimately figure out. How do I create a space where I have very little ambient noise? Number 3, editing. So something that kind of helped me get involved in voiceover is that I have experience with audio production, with music production and things like that. So I've been using microphones and DAWs and all this stuff for years now because I've been trying to work on music. So I have some experience. But when it comes down to editing, strictly just the voice, not mixing things in or, trying to deal with music and mastering and all that stuff, but specifically focusing solely on the voice and trying to make sure that it's good quality for broadcast or commercials or even for audiobooks. That can be a little tedious, a little irritating, just sitting there listening to your voice or listening to somebody else's voices. I also edit podcasts and different things like that, edit other people's audiobooks. You're just sitting there, just listening to stuff and going in and trying to fix the smallest things, whether it's clicks or a mess up or whatever. At first, that was really, really, really irritating. When I was doing my first audiobook, I was so stressed because I was getting so much closer to the deadline and I was just editing. I had finished reading everything, but majority of the time I was spent editing. But now I've gotten better at it, so it doesn't take as much time. Number 4, reading. That sounds silly because, you're a voiceover artist. You got to read stuff. That's what people are hiring you to do. They're hiring you to read their copy. Again, going back to audiobooks, you think you can read well, when you're just reading out loud to friends or family or nieces and nephews. You think you're okay. Or, you might flash back to when you were in school and you had to read for class or whatever. You think you're okay. But then when you sit down and you're actually recording yourself and you're trying to read it, I don't know what it is. You just I got really, really frustrated with trying to read stuff. It's I thought I could read well. I thought I could, pronounce words. And no, you sit down and you're trying to read this book and it's just I must have forgot how to read. What happened? This is crazy. I had to work through that and get comfortable with reading out loud and then actually playing it back. And I'm pointing to my mic, that's right here, but recording it, reading it out loud, and then going back and editing it and not cringing all of the time. And number 5, low budgets. So as you're starting out in voiceover, you might just be happy to get a gig at all, that somebody actually wants to use your voice, that they actually want your help to produce something. That's great. You got to start somewhere. But after a while, as you learn and realize all of the work that it takes to, get better at voiceover, and all of the time and energy, the equipment that you have to buy, the training, the coaching, all of that stuff adds up. And so when somebody's asking you to do something, this is like a ridiculous example, but, to read a 30,000 word script for $15, you you feel a way about it, like it feels offensive almost. But there are a lot of times when you're starting out that you take gigs just because you want the experience, that you want to try stuff. But after a while, it starts to get a little frustrating. It's definitely not one of my favorite things. And here's a special bonus 6 least favorite thing. I like to call this the gap. And I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Ira Glass, but he has this short talk that he shares this concept called the gap, where people are starting in their journey and then where they want to be. And there's this space in between where this is where you are and this is where you want to be. But this gap in between is the frustrating and the frustration and the struggle to actually get where you want to be. So you're recording stuff as a voiceover, you're getting clients and you're producing things. And as you listen back, you might be like, I guess this is okay. But then you hear something on TV, or you hear something in a movie, or you listen to your favorite audiobook and you're like, why doesn't my stuff sound like this? Why doesn't the quality of my mic sound good? Why doesn't my editing sound good? Why can't I get the compression and equalization just right? What's going on? And that gap, that frustration, that period of time is really, really challenging to get through. But it's something that we all got to get through. You got to stay focused where you are, keep your eye on your goal, and just take your time, be patient, be persistent, and you'll get there. So those were my 5 least favorite things starting in voiceover. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. I hope you learned some things. Share with me in the comments below what's something challenging or something you don't like starting out in your voiceover journey. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. To all of my fellow voice actors, continue to speak boldly, passionately, and make sure you're having fun. Till next time, see you later, guys.